Hi guys, welcome back. We're going to go straight on with blue, and there are some really good cards, and then a whole bunch of cards that don't mean anything. So we'll start with one of the cards that fits neither of those descriptors. It's actually right in the middle.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the art now, and so the mind is a funny thing. It usually fills in the blanks for a lot of things, but if you look at this art and look at her mouth, just look at her mouth and what's actually there, not
Yeah.
what your mind is filling
It was
in.
also the case for that 2-2 Yuna earlier. Her crack was like in the completely wrong place.
Yeah, so I don't actually know who did the animation, probably JC Stuff or something, but we're on to you. 3-2 Sagiri. This is a TD level 3. The interesting thing about this is that it comes into play and checks the top card of your deck. If it is a relevant character, it burns 1. It's future-proof as well, in case there are any random ninjas. I think there is actually one ninja card in this set, which isn't Yuragi-sou trait, so it might be relevant. But yeah, you top check, if it's a character, burn 1.
It was Exabek, dude.
Sorry?
Exabek.
Exabek.
Zabek. You know, the Tlover people.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Sure. So Zabek did it. Yeah, so this also gains some amount of power when you play it from stage for the rest of this turn and the opponent's turn. Now, the reason you play this at all is because if you do have the spare stock remaining after calculating for double Yuna, then you want a finisher which is like this that you don't have to contribute anything additional to, if at all, which is why this card might see play at all. The primary use for this card I found is actually in the waifu deck, so I'm not really going to talk much more on it. It's fine. It's nothing special. Finding a triple R was a bitch, but yeah. Alright, and this next card is the best card in the set, I think.
I know this card.
Yeah, it's probably the best.
I couldn't believe it when I saw the card of the day.
Yeah, it's the best clean cut profile ever printed. This is 0015 Sagiri. If you have 5 more cards in hand, it gains 2k power, and when it's reversed its battle opponent, choose one of your other characters in this set and move it to the back row. Rest it, move to the back row, rather. This is like the Rem or Kirito clean cut, except it never loses power in any relevant scenario. It's just by far the best oversized.
5 cards in hand is probably the best, like one of the better conditional oversize requirements, honestly.
I agree. So it and the Goblin Slayer oversize, I think, are without any other competition the best oversizes in the game, and I think this one actually edges it out because its highs are so much higher.
Yes, I agree.
This
is pretty close to A+ for me, honestly. I don't want to give it A+ because there's probably some other card out there that would make me say it's like deserves an A+ more than this card. But yeah, this card's really good.
Yeah, it is really good. I'm just gonna give it an A+. It's just a super solid card.
Run it for it. Don't forget about it. Just forget about it.
The thing about clean cut is that
do you ever not run this card? Like in any deck you could ever run for this set?
I mean, waifu decks, but in realistic decks, no. Every deck should run 4. This card is normally the thing about clean cuts. The reason they're so powerful is that they're analogous to playing a stock soul on turn 2, or whenever the effect goes off, basically. And it's also like after that, when you start attacking with 3 characters, it is just a plus. And unlike ones like the Kirito and the Rem, where it's not the easiest thing in the world to get more clean cut reverses.
That red card synergizes really well with this card too in the mid game. If you continue to use this effect.
Exactly. So that card you tap, give this 500 power, get it out of the way, clean cut something back, and then this card presumably dies, which means you'll definitely have a spot to put this back in no matter what.
Well, I mean, you'll always have a slot, right? Because you're moving something from one slot to an empty slot.
Row. Yeah. You will just always have a slot because you have an empty slot. So yeah, like I said, that card had a lot of little synergies, and one of them is with this card. There are other cards in blue that we're going to talk about which also have synergies with this card. But for now, just know that this is probably the best
This is like a
overall
meme
card.
card. I memed about this, like, combination of utilities.
It's best girl too, which is great. Next card is because we can just talk for ages about that card. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oboro, Ubiquitous Cutting Edge. It's the 1045. This is the reason you want to be blue. When this is placed from hand to stage, it becomes a 6k, so it gains power for the turn.
Oh yeah, this card's really cool.
Yeah, when you play the book, if this is in the front row and you have another character until the end of your turn, this gains Twin Drive, so on attack pay 1, trigger check twice, and when this is front attacked, you may bounce this to your hand. Does not require reverse, does not require anything. It's just a straight. Well, this card is almost considerable as being a plus straight up. Because when you Twin Drive, this deck is going to have 4 book and 4 gates. So you do have an increased chance of getting, book or gate or whatever. And of course, you bounce this back to your hand. And also importantly, there is an early play who's no, never mind. That's the wrong card. That is definitely the wrong card.
I think there's an early play though. Yeah, I
There
remember
is an
that.
early play, but it requires a clock. It requires someone to be clocked. And I was thinking, was this the card? Because I don't play that early play. I played a 2-1 Chitose
It
instead.
requires a level 0 Oboro, not
Yeah,
this
it's
card.
some random shitty level 0 anyway. So yeah, this bounces back to hand, comes back down, keeps attacking as a 7k if you sack into multiple books. It is a very good card on its front. It denies reverses, it can possibly plus you straight up, and it is reasonably sized on offense. The problem with this card is that the nature of this sort of plus does not actually give you any selectivity. It's different with a card like Eren from Attack on Titan, because one of Eren's ways that he plussed you was inherently selectivity.
Ah, Aaron's an A+ card.
Yeah, Eren can be an A+ card.
I give it up for that card.
Yay. Whereas Oboro does not actually give you any inherent selectivity. Unless you specifically trigger a gate, you don't get to choose what you get, and you don't always get a very large number of cards.
Well, that just speaks to how ridiculous Aaron is, I think. So than this card being, like, bad or
this card is good.
I think this card's pretty good.
This card's really good. Like, it's a reason to play the deck in the same vein as the level 3. But what ends up happening with this deck is that even in a best case scenario, your hand is like 3 of this, and then you don't do anything at level 2, so you're forced to just kind of.
This notably does not synergize very well with Clean Cut.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. But you were saying something when I interrupted you.
I forgot what I was saying. Basically, what ends up, which does not scale very well, and unless you're very, very aggressively playing that Chitose to check top, you can't really convert this into anything. And if you do that, you're risking not having playables. So I actually prefer the other combo, even though on face value, it's just a less disruptive and less powerful combo than this one. So I think I rate this combo higher than the yellow one. But I think the yellow one is better overall for the game plan that Yuragi-sou has to play. This is a really solid card though. You should definitely play with a card like this if you haven't, and then you'll understand the power of denying reverses. Like it's just a very solid card. Next card, Sagiri, Reaction of a Maiden.
Yo!
The major problem with this card is that if you want to play the high rarity versions, they don't look anywhere near as cute. Like, if you look at the triple R for the pants, it is like not even 1/10 as cute as that picture. And the SP is extremely uninspiring compared to what you have here. That's the main problem with this card.
This card's pretty cool.
It's cool, but not good.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't play this over the Yuuna, I think, but
Oh, I mean, you only play it in the waifu deck. I don't think there's
Yes.
anywhere play this. Or in like the bad mono blue deck, which is not really a thing. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can pay 1. If you do the double early play thing, except you search the deck and you get another copy of this.
Searching your deck is
And
considerably better though than the usual double.
yeah, I agree. It's considerably better. And if this had, for example, if you have the next card that we're going to talk about in your clock, it gets -1 level on stage. Then
Oh
look,
wow.
I probably
Okay,
would
dude.
strongly consider playing this.
Okay, dude. They're never gonna do
But
that again. That's never gonna
because of
happen.
that, I do not think this is a very good card. Because the other effect is burn 1 when it attacks with the pants in the climax zone. God, the more I look at that card, the more I want to not play the foil pants. It's like the most generic anime opening card ever. Yeah, this effect is not good. It is very easy to field attackers in the waifu deck. Sagiri revealed attraction. This card is great. It's a 0/0 brainstorm. It's a tap 2 brainstorm, so there's a limit to how good it really can be. But the other effect is it's actually really powerful in the deck it was built to support. At the beginning of your climax phase, you can shuffle 2 characters from your waiting room back to deck. If you do, give one of your characters 3,000 power. That's a lot of power. This is basically for the blue deck. And when I say blue
This is a
deck, I
pretty
mean,
neat effect.
yeah, it is a really powerful effect though. Like 3k power at any stage in the game basically lets you win a lane. Yeah, it's just extremely powerful. And they knew it. They knew that this was extremely powerful, which is why they restricted this card so much. It's like a B in the mono blue deck. It's obviously it's not really playable anywhere else. You're not like decompress your stealth just to get some power. It's never that important.
Clean cut.
Look, I would be lying if I said that I'd never. It's definitely a lie because I've done it many times. It's very.
Yeah, use the red
but
card.
I don't think.
Tap the red card with this brainstorm. And, you know, attack with your 6/5 clean cut.
Yeah, you definitely could do that. So yeah, like I said, the 3k power is nothing to scoff. Like at one point, I was considering this in the deck because I wanted, but it just wasn't a very good fit.
I can definitely see
yeah,
why.
Yeah. The next card, the card meant to synergize with the 1/0 Sagiri. If you have the what do you even call these? Okinami, something like that. It's a very powerful 0. If you have that level 0 in your memory, each of your other blue characters, this gains 5k, 500, so it goes to 6k. And climax combo, when you have the book in the climax zone, this in your front row, you can search your deck for 2 copies of this and put them in separate slots on the stage.
Oh, it's like that card.
It's like what? Yeah, it's like the IMAS Cinderella Girls card. Except it's unlike that card. It actually has real support. It actually has good cards around it. And yeah, I look. The reason this card is good is because of the brain, not because of this card. The brainstorm gives you like a 9k or 10k or whatever attacker.
Oh, I meant the Yukiko.
And
but yeah.
That's from Info.
But it's the same, like.
Yeah, it's the same sort
thing.
of effect.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like the Yukiko was not actually. And the only reason the Yukiko was even playable was because you had a brainstorm that you could just mash early to make it more consistent. Whereas this brainstorm not only makes it more consistent, but also actively gives you, it gives you lanes for free, and it's just a really powerful card because of that. This card by itself is like not that good, but with the brainstorm in this specific deck, it is really good. Now that being said, I think if you just play mono blue,
you should still be playing the Oboro combo because that one is just, stronger.
It's like the same kind of functional plus, wherein you like gain playables.
Yes.
For free that you don't have to commit.
Exactly.
But
yes.
obviously the Oboro is just like more meta relevant.
It denies reverses, which is relevant. Whereas this one is like fine, but it's mostly waifu deck. It also requires you to have this specific card, which is not a card every single deck plays. I play it because I really like it, but I do know a lot of people prefer to play a different memory card. Next card. Oboro, Black Dragon God's Protective Sword. It is a 2-cost sack anti-change counter. It's less good than it was in 2015, but it's still fun. Like, to this is really good in general. And this is a card I often brainstorm back. It's just a solid enough card. God, I don't actually know how to. So 2-1 Sagiri. I don't know if many people in the world have played with this card more than I have. And this card ranges from being complete garbage to being a card that no other card could have matched in that situation. Like, it's extremely specialized in a really weird way. It just wins the board for you, and then it stops winning the board, and your opponent wins the board. If that is ever valuable to you, then this is a really solid card. That being said, this all comes with the caveat you are playing everything listed here. Blue cards, the 0-0 Sagiri around the bit, and more copies of this. And if you aren't playing all of those, this card is obviously unplayable, abject trash. I can't in good faith give it a good rating, but I will say that it just completely destroys sometimes for no good. And this is like, keep in mind, you're still playing this in the deck that has the friggin' Brainstorm giving 3k power, so this is like a 15k attack or something. It's really stupid. Only for that deck, though. 3-2 Oboro, Determined Decision. If you have Oboro New Interest in your clock, this gets -1 level in hand. You know what I realized? We didn't talk about the 1-0 event in. I must have missed it.
Wait,
anyway.
which 1-0 event? Oh, shit.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll talk about that one later, I guess. If you have Oboro New Interest in your clock, this gets -1 level in hand. That card is like a Pucci Mikan with some, I think it's a coin flip effect. I don't remember exactly what it is. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can put the bottom card of your clock in waiting room, which means you can, play multiples of this. And when this is reversed, you can ditch a card from hand. If you do, return it to hand.
It's like, okay. A lot of neat effects.
Look, if this deck could generate more stock without any real issue, then this might be fine. But the idea of replaying heals over and over on a card that is largely under spec, like it's not oversized, it doesn't really, do anything aside from being a sometimes recurable heal, it's extremely mediocre. And you already have what I consider to be 2 better early plays, including one that is also a heal anyway. So I am not high on this card. I do not want to have to play the advanced summon condition. And honestly, I'm just not a big fan of early play heals if that's all they do. Next card, Sagiri going around 0-0. When you place this from hand to stage, you give a character 1k for the turn. This is valuable in the yellow deck where you need to get a reverse at level 1, and it's fine in any other deck where you just kind of want power. And then pay 1, send this to memory, look up the 4 cards from the top of your deck and add a Yuragi-sou, add it to your hand, put the rest in waiting room. So this is one of your 2 blue memory cards. The other one is a straight up drop searcher, which a lot of people prefer, which is fair. I prefer this card because when I play this card early, all I want to do is mill, and if I get something good along the way, fantastic. In the yellow deck specifically, I'm not looking for anything super specific after I get one copy and the climax. So at that point, whatever I get is fine. And as a result, the mill becomes more desirable than simply having activity. In the blue deck, however, you don't play this because the Ouroboros Drop Searcher is much better at getting you what you need when you need it. Because that deck wants a number of specific cards at a specific time, and generally, the milling is worth less to them than getting cards they need. So, in conclusion, I'm rating this card as if it were in the yellow deck, which I know sounds weird because this is a blue card and I'm talking about it being bad in the blue deck. But in that deck, I think that the added, what do you call it, deck velocity, it's really dumb concept, is more valuable than additional selectivity, which I don't think matters nearly as much. So yeah, that's my reasoning for that. It's also the 1k pump, which is fine. It's like nothing special, but it's fine. And this is the advanced summon condition. Massive white bar, right?
New interest.
When this is placed from hand to stage, give a character 1/5 turn, which, is good. And when this is reversed to battle, check the top card of your deck. If it's a level 2 higher, bounce this card to hand. So this is a better effect than just resting because it means you get it back to hand in preparation to clock it for the early play. I'm rating this like it's a Pucci Mikon. I don't really have any interest in playing this as an advantage engine. And that's just gravy, I suppose. That being said, this is the sort of thing that makes a Pucci Mikon, stand out from other Pucci Mikons. So not only does it give power, but it can do that over and over sometimes. Which
That's
is
a good point.
It's really strong effect, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think
if it flips, which
of course
is never a
but
guarantee.
It's not like having the ability is a bad thing. All you do is lose 2k power. And since this card can't pump itself anyway, that's not really a loss. So I am definitely not taking any marks away for that. And if anything, this is the sort of effect I'd want on my come and play buffers. If they did nothing else. I'd rather they did something like the just talked about. Next card. Ouroboros, no matter what, this is the other blue fixer. It's a drop searcher. Just come and play, pay 1 to drop search. And when it's reversed in battle, if you have 2 or fewer cards in memory, you may send this to me. It's fine. It's selective in the early game, which is something that this deck cares about. Spending stock is not the best thing, but you don't really have an option, so I don't take that into account.
This is actually A+ territory. My C+ is just,
Yeah. It's just a C. In my opinion, it's fine. Actually, no, it is a C+ in the blue deck. It is better than. What am I doing? Plus. Yeah. Next card is Sagiri Operation Success, 1/0 counter. When you use this card's backup, choose a character in battle. That character gains X power, where X is 500 times the number of characters with the same card name as that character. Do you see what this is meant for? It's meant for the 1/0. It's a 1/0/2/5 counter in that deck. Oftentimes, even in a normal deck, this is just a 1/0/2k counter as well. But because this set already has a 1/0/2k counter, unless you can consistently make it a 2/5 counter, there is absolutely no reason for you to run this card. And you're not allowed to give this a C because you gave the 2k counter a C. And
I'm giving this a C.
In every deck but the mono blue deck, this is strictly worse.
This is the blue deck. This is the mono blue deck rating.
Oh god.
I mean, you're not really running this outside of the mono blue deck, right?
You literally shouldn't, because there's a better card. It's also not amazing in the mono blue deck because you're not super. Lose your whole field and just get it back with one climax. Alright, next card, Sagiri, Goddess's Lights. This is for, again, the mono blue deck. It's a level X, and at the start of each player's attack phase, choose the character in the front or center slot, and all those, so it's like a global 500 if your whole field is also like the same name. So as you can tell, lots of cards tailor-made for the waifu deck. This card always looks less impactful than it really is. Like, this card has saved my ass multiple occasions for no good reason. That 500 powers, it shouldn't mean anything, but for some reason it keeps meaning something. Anyway. Next card. Kogarashi, hiding his embarrassment. 0015. When you place this from hand to stage, check the 2 top cards of your deck and put them back in any order, and then placed from hand to stage. You may pay costs, which is discard a card. If you do, salvage the 1-0 counter event, which is not a good event for what it's worth. It's just not a good card. This is a D. That information is not particularly useful, and the event is not good at all. Yeah, what can I say? TD, DD. Next card, TDs, DD. This one's like fine. This is a 4K. It's pretty big, and the detriment rarely ever matters. I don't know what else to say. It just rarely. Next, the non-Yuragi-sou card. It is a global 500 for blue, and you can discard the vanilla Sagiri to your waiting room to salvage a Sagiri. I don't play this in my Sagiri wife, so I don't know why anyone would ever play this, ever. Next card, Oboro, where it's 2k power if you have other so whatever characters, and it has hand on core. This is your standby target. It's meh. It is just meh. I admit I haven't played much of the standby deck because standby sucks. Speaking of very bad standby decks, you have a very interesting card name for this card. That 3
How'd that get there?
So zombies are just not good cards. Never have been. They were played very briefly, but that was an era where nobody playing global soul climaxes. So the card is just bad. I wouldn't bother with it. Next card, Spirit Barrier, 1-0 count. Choose a character. That character gains the ability. When this is placed from stage to waiting room, you may instead add it to your hand. I have played this card to good effect. Like, it's let me loop climax combos. But the card sucks. Like, I'm not going to mince words. It just doesn't do anything worthwhile. Well, what do I do? Yeah, 2-1 Black Warp Gate. Well, I don't know. Do you understand this card? It looks a lot better than it is. Just trust me.
Probably. That's probably true.
There's very little that you care about. There's no enter play effects that are super impactful. All this really does is just counter without giving you any tempo, which makes it not particularly special. The only thing that you do get significant value out of is replaying heals. And this is, not just heals, but also like, this is kind of like multiple copies of the level 3 Sagiri because she summons another copy of herself. But that's a lot of stock. And oftentimes that's not something you care to do anyway. So generally this just does not do anything. And as much as I wanted to do something, if this was a good card, then I fear that we would have a very broken effect on our hands because it takes a lot to make this sort of card good.
It's fair enough.
Yeah, next card is actually if the deck had an Azza, maybe that'd be good.
Would it?
I believe this actually does work with the Chiri effect, but I don't think that's
It
good
does.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does
because
work
they
with it.
get stacked. I do not think it's good enough though, because it's so delayed. 2/1 Black Warp Gate. If you don't have a character with who is the white-haired girl, you can't play this. Choose a cost 1 or lower back row character and put it on the bottom of their deck. Search your deck for a character with the same level as the chosen character. Add it to your hand, then ditch a card. I think that you are underestimating this effect. It is significantly better than the counter. Like what this reads is remove their brainstorm, get your brainstorm, ditch a card.
It's fair enough.
And because of that, that makes it fine. It's nothing better than fine. It really punishes players who crutch on the brainstorm or crutch on a specific card. But it doesn't do a great deal more than that.
Kills TP.
I was about to say, if TP was still a deck that mattered, then yeah, it would kill TP pretty bad. But I don't know if it's luckily or unluckily, that deck is no longer. So that's that. And do we want to cover that last red event that we missed?
Yeah, sure.
Also, I wouldn't say I was looking forward to talking about it, but it was certainly an interesting card. I need to remember exactly what it did as well. I just remember I might be proven wrong. It might be complete garbage. But I think it was fine. Well, I'll let you bring it up, but it's a 1/0 red event. It says if you have 2 or fewer cards in memory, send it to memory. And then at the start of your climax phase, if this is in your memory, you may look at the top card. If you do, either keep it on top or mill it, and then choose a character to gain 1k for the turn. So what you can do is you can actually stack 3. And if you do, you basically get to choose whether or not you trigger, you get a soul trigger in your first attack. And you also get free power for your whole field. Which is interesting. I don't know if it's good though. I haven't tested it very much. I do think it's really cool. But like I said, cool is not good. So yeah, it gets exponentially better the more you have. Yeah.
Oh. I see.
Yes. So it stacks.
Why'd they limit it to 2?
You can get 3.
Oh yeah, sorry. Why'd they limit it to 3?
So, I don't know.
That's a really odd.
So
that's a really odd restriction on this card.
Yeah, I
don't think anybody was resolving 4 anyways.
Now, what I do want to point out is that this does actually coexist. Because the Sagiri we talked about is just immediately put it to memory, you don't have to count it in memory. And the green card also is the same sort of effect. It doesn't matter what you have in memory. So you could theoretically fit this into a deck that's running Yuuna top end. You would just have to commit to basically always burning for 3. Does that make this particular card worth it? I don't think so. If, however, they changed a single word in the text, which is at the start of the climax phase, then I think we'd be talking. Like, this would actually be a card worth talking about.
Ugh.
Because if you really think about it, how many cards does this mill over the course of a game? Like 7?
Yeah, but like,
I know milling is not actually impactful.
it's such a low
in most
quality.
scenarios.
I mean, sometimes you're just gonna keep it there because
Yeah, exactly. More importantly, each copy of this that you play is just a straight neg one. So while some Yuuna decks can actually sustain this, I wouldn't say this card is good enough. The neg is far too impactful. So let's give that a C minus. No, I think D plus is better. I think. Yeah, unfortunate. All right, that's blue and a little extra. I guess we'll be back with yellow and more green.